Then, in the long days on board ship, when the vessel, gliding on the security over the azure sea, required no care but the hand of the helmsman, thanks to the favorable winds that swelled her sails, Edmond, with a chart in his hand, became the instructor of Jacopo, as the poor Abbe Faria had been his tutor. He pointed out to him the bearings of the coast, explained to him the variations of the compass, and taught him to read in that vast book opened over our heads which they call heaven, and where God writes in azure with letters of diamonds. And when Jacopo inquired of him, "What is the use of teaching all these things to a poor sailor like me?" Edmond replied, "Who knows? You may one day be the captain of a vessel. Your fellow countryman, Bonaparte, became emperor." We had forgotten to say that Jacopo was a Corsican. 2 months and a half elapsed in these trips, and Edmond had become as skillful a coaster as he had been a hardy seaman. He had formed an acquaintance with all the smugglers on the coast, and learned all the Masonic signs by which these half-pirates recognized each other. He had passed and repassed the islet of Monte Cristo 20 times, but not once had he found an opportunity of landing there. He then formed a resolution. As soon as his engagement with the patron of La Jeune Amélie ended, he would hire a small vessel on his own account, for in his several voyages he had amassed 100 piastres, and under some pretext land at the islet of Monte Cristo. Then he would be free to make his researches, not perhaps entirely at liberty, for he would be doubtless watched by those who accompanied him. But in this world we must risk something. Prison had made Edmond prudent, and he was desirous of running no risk whatever. But in vain did he rack his imagination. Fertile as it was, he could not devise any plan for reaching the island without companionship. Okay, we didn't mention in the previous passage yesterday that Jacopo not only looks upon Dante as a comrade, but as his superior for some reason. Superior in nautical skill, apparently superior in mental thought and acuity, and maybe the compassion that Jacopo showed him reminded him of the compassion that Abbe Faria showed him, which is why he develops an affinity for him and begins to teach him things like how to read. I also love this little side thought here of Dumas, like even Dumas not being above, a messy storyteller, just as he goes through with Jacopo asking, "Why are you teaching me this?" And Dante saying, "Oh, well, you never know. Someday you might be the captain of the ship. Don't forget, Bonaparte became emperor." And Dumas is like, "Oh yeah, we forgot to say that Jacopo was a Corsican," which, so was Napoleon. But like you ever heard someone telling a story and be like, "Oh no, wait, I forgot to say at the beginning that this important thing is necessary for you to know for this part." So even Dumas isn't above just like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that Jacopo was a Corsican, and that's why this paragraph that I wrote is important." Every once in a while, when he does these kind of breaking of the fourth wall, it's a little jarring, but always just kind of makes me chuckle. And there's something about the pacing of Dumas' writing here, too, that I want to comment upon. We saw a little bit of this in prison, though, God, it felt like we were in prison forever, where he speeds up and slows down and speeds up and slows down the timeline. So we're in a part right now where Dumas is kind of hitting the fast forward button a bit. He says that 2.5 months elapsed in these trips. So Dante's essentially been a free man for almost a whole season, almost 3 months now. And in that time, becoming more confident, I would say, in his footing as a free man. Obviously not being able to fully step into his own identity, having to conceal his motives and obviously his plans for Monte Cristo, but confident enough to step into the role of a tutor the way that Faria did to him as he's doing with Jacopo here. Like, he's not going every single day just kind of under the fear that he's going to be found out. It sounds like now he is in a position where he is fully confident in assuming the guise of this character that he is playing on this ship. Side note, did Dante give his real name? Did he give a name at all to these folks? I don't seem to recall that. What are they calling him on the ship? What is his name? What Is he going by Edmond Dante? I mean, because it seems like it would be very quick to be found out as an escaped prisoner if you're doing that. Or is he giving some name like Jacques? Oh yeah, my name is Jacques Doubtfire. As he's looking at different headlines across the room. Sorry, I don't know why I went that silly with it, but I don't believe Dumas has ever told us what the name he has given these folks is. Or maybe he did give it, and it's just like he is going by Edmond Dante and trusting that the smugglers aren't going to turn him over. Interesting. But, okay, I guess just to wrap up today's passage as we go into the final episode tomorrow of Chapter 22, we are kind of refocusing here and Dumas letting us know that Dante has not lost sight of his main goal, which is to get to Monte Cristo, and that even amidst these 2.5 months, he is driven by, oh my God, he has floated by, what does a boat do? Sailed by the island of Monte Cristo 20 times at least, and at no point has he felt comfortable enough with the risk of going there with people. So he's not fully trusting of these smugglers, that he's biding his time and devising a plan and waiting until the situation is exactly right. And yet he's running into this problem in devising the plan that there's no way that he can get there without companionship. So how long do we think Dumas is going to stretch that out? We will find out, I guess, as we finish up Chapter 22 tomorrow, but since it's the penultimate episode, you know what that means. That's right, we have to talk about the Patreon. You can help keep this show afloat by supporting us over at patreon.com/gruntworkpod for as little as $1 per month. That's 3 cents per episode or 1 cent per thought, because I give a penny a thought per episode, and I give at least 3 thoughts per episode. Maybe? You know what? It averages out. I might give 1 thought per episode, and then 5 thoughts in another episode, averaging out to 3 thoughts per episode. And that's 3 cents worth, isn't it? Oh my God, what am I doing? We need to keep the show going for 4 years, and your contributions help keep the show hosted. There's a lot of overhead when it comes to paying for the podcast hosting. It helps keep the show ad-free, and it helps me just know that you're out there and appreciate the show, because I appreciate you listening, even if you can't contribute. And if you can't, you can always support the show by leaving a rating or review over at Apple Podcasts, leaving comments on Spotify, subscribing on YouTube, and it really helped to get the word out by telling someone about the show. If you could just shoot them an episode, shoot them the podcast feed, that goes a long way to getting people to actually listen, as opposed to just kind of stumbling over the show and saying, oh yeah, I might get to that someday. And lastly, I want to hear from you, and you can do that by joining the Discord. The link is in the show notes of today's episode and every episode. So if you have thoughts about the Count of Monte Cristo, about this podcast, about anything in general, join us over on the Discord and hop in the chat. Absolutely would love to hear from you. So until tomorrow, when we close out Chapter 22, you know where to find me. Right here. Okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.